Dave didn't owe me anything. He wasn't impressed by taking Mark's call at this point in time. So I said, I remember the call. I said, Dave, I think I'm ready to consider moving our website over to PMW. If you could, do something for me here. Hey, it's Mark Cunningham at Grace Property Management. We've been around since 1978. My dad started our company at that point in time. And even when we started it, the idea of who we were as a company, our brand, I don't think we used that word back then, but our brand was like professionalism. We want to provide a high level of service to our clients. That's been something that has been woven into who we are as a company since the very beginning. I hate that word tech stack because I think it was created by a bunch of tech people who just want more excuses to have us layer more things on. Philosophically, though, we've always believed that we want to have the best standalone products for everything it is we need, and then we will figure out how we have to layer those things on together. So early on, it was like, we want the best website that there is. We want the best accounting software that there is. We want the best applicant screening software that there is. So for many years, we had all these different pieces, and we were not going to go with the all-in-one in a box because the all-in-one in a box typically didn't have the best standalones. And it did create some unique challenges because we have to figure out how to layer those things on. That's one of the things, quite frankly, we love about PMW, about Rentvine, because I believe not only is it everything in a box, but it truly is the best standalone of the website, of the accounting side of things with Rentvine, of the property vacancy pushing through the stuff, and of the applicant screening. So we used a lot of those products standalone. And then when Rentvine came along, the ability to layer on Rentvine. So now that our websites can truly talk to our accounting software and it is truly integrated, that I want that to be our only tech stack as much as is possible. We've always been less goal-oriented and more just opportunistic focused in paying attention to what opportunities are in front of us, and let's go chase those and hit those that way. So we're not huge on goal numbers, but we did just hit 1,200 residential doors managed, all single family primarily. So that's a big deal for us. And then we layer on commercial, we layer on sales on top of that. But hitting 1,200 this year, that was a significant number and achievement for us. Oh boy, we don't have enough time to record all the mistakes we've made, but I do remember the day that I got a cold call from a salesperson who said, Mark, I think Grace Management needs a website. You guys should have a website. And I said, what's a website? And he told me what a website was. And I remember saying, I don't see how that would really help us. I don't think our tenants, I don't think our owners really have interest in a website, but thanks anyway. That was probably a miss on my part. Probably should have gone ahead and gotten the website as one of the first companies out here. Probably could have had like denverpropertymanagement.com. So that's got to go down as probably one of my bigger misses in our property management business. When someone's just starting off in this business, I think there's a couple basic rules you got to follow. Number one is you got to go get 25 doors. Nothing else matters until you get 25 doors. Until you get 25 doors, you don't have a business. You're just winging it. And we're all winging it to some extent, but you're really winging it. Get 25 doors. Don't worry about a process. Don't worry about a system. Don't worry about how you're going to do anything. Get 25 doors. You got to prove to yourself you can do that. Once you get that in place, then and only then do you start having standards, higher standards on the quality of the owners you want to bring on. That's the Achilles heel of our industry. Companies don't have quality standards on understanding when a potential owner client is not a good fit. Once you hit 25, then you start bringing on some serious filters to say, you know what, not everybody's a good owner client. Now we're going to start having higher quality standards to ensure that we're only doing business with clients that are a good fit for us. So the way we met PMW was many, many years ago. We had a website and it worked just fine. It did okay for us. And I remember coming into the office one day, sat down on my computer, turned my computer on, uploaded my website, and our website had been hacked over the course of the weekend. And it had some ridiculously profane things flashing on the front of the website, which I didn't remember making that request for a verbiage update over the weekend. Quickly determined that our website had been hacked and called that the current website company we were using, and they took it down at that point in time. And then over the next number of days, I couldn't get a hold of this company. They wouldn't return my phone calls, they wouldn't return my emails. So Monday turns into Tuesday, turns into Wednesday, Thursday. So Friday, when we have had no website for an entire week, I'm starting to realize this does not look good for us. So I called Dave Borden. I didn't know Dave well. Dave didn't know me much well either. We had met once or twice at a conference, and this was 15 years ago. We were a small company, Grace Management. We weren't known in the industry at all. So Dave didn't owe me anything. He wasn't impressed by taking Mark's call at this point in time. So I said, I remember the call. I said, Dave, I think I'm ready to consider moving our website over to PMW. If you could, do something for me here. And I told him, I said, listen, here's what's going on. Can you guys help us out? We're at your mercy. What can you do? And I remember Dave said, hey, not a problem, Mark. Let me pull some people off a couple other things. We'll get a website up and going for you. That was on a Friday. By Monday morning, we had a website. They got a website up from us from Friday to Monday. Again, keep in mind, we're a small company. We're not important. We don't mean anything to them. They just did it because that's what PMW does. That made me a huge fan right there. Now, and what I realized very quickly is it wasn't just a website they slapped together. This website started getting traction. It was doing things that our prior website had never done. A couple years later, we upgraded that website to the higher level with PMW, and that just really started clicking to where owner-client leads started coming into us through our website. We view the website as the foundational marketing piece. Nobody's going to call your office. Nobody's going to email you. Nobody's going to do anything until they go to your website. And if your website isn't tight and fresh and updated and all those things, then it's holding you back. So PMW, I've said to my team, we really view them as a partner in our success, not just a vendor, but a partner in our success. We truly would not have the level of success we have today if we had not fortunately been hacked. That's the best thing that ever happened to our company is when our website got hacked, because it introduced us to PMW, moved us over to there, and the rest of our relationships with PMW has just been a great history for us.